Hi, today we're going to take a look at the Asus ZenPower bank, and this is a portable USB power bank, 10 amp hour. If you haven't seen one of these before, they're really useful. Let's say you're out and about and your phone is running low on battery, you need to plug in so you can charge it. So here I have my Galaxy S4 dead battery. All I have to do is get the normal USB charger and plug it into the Asus ZenPower. Immediately the light comes on to show that it's charging, and you'll see that any second now the phone reflects that it's being charged. So that's really useful, and this is actually good for quite a few charges, not just one charge, because this is 10 amp hours. Of course, it's not just for one specific phone. You could use it for the iPhone, for the iPad, for any kind of tablet, anything that runs on USB power, even a USB fan you can run on one of these. Now I actually have a few USB power banks. I have this one here, which is apparently 20 amp hour. It's a generic Chinese one, so you can never be 100% sure. And then I also have this little 3.5 amp hour one from Anker, and they all have their different purposes. This one I can take with me pretty much anywhere. I can put it in my pocket. It's quite small, doesn't take up a lot of space, and let's say I'm going to meet friends and I'm running a little bit low on battery or something, I'll take this one. This one is the middle one. I could take this, for instance, if I know I'm going to have a long day of meetings, or maybe staying overnight somewhere. I might want to take this so I can make sure I have power. And then this one, which is the biggest one of them all, I mean, if you compare these in size, you can see it's quite a bit bigger. This one's good for like vacations, and it has 2 USB ports. So if you're going on vacation, chances are someone else in your family or a friend is also going to want to plug in and charge. So you need something with, as much battery as possible and with 2 ports. So, I have different ones for different occasions. The reason why I like this one is because it's a branded power bank, and that does matter, because with the unbranded ones, you never really know what's inside. It could say, 100 amp hour, but really it could just be 2 or 3 or 4. So I like the fact that this is actually branded. The other good thing is that this is currently on sale. You can buy this at Lazada for just 800 peso, and I've also seen it at some SM malls in different stores. They're also selling this for 800. So it seems to be, everywhere in Manila at the moment, and perhaps across the Philippines is really selling these ones for just 800 peso, which is pretty good for a 10 amp hour branded portable power bank. So what else is good about this? Well, it can output up to 2.4 amp. That means that even if you've got a really heavy duty tablet or something that's really heavy power usage, this is going to be able to charge it. The other good thing is it has 2 amp input, so when you're charging it, it's not going to take forever. All you have to do is unplug your phone. So if you're using an Android phone, you'll have a micro USB cable, and just swap it around like this. Plug this into your standard AC charger, and then it will begin charging. They do include a cable for that as well, which I'll show you. They include this little one here. So I could actually this is an original Samsung cable, but this white one came with the power bank. I could use that to charge the phone, and likewise I could turn it around and use it to charge the power bank from an AC adapter. Now I've purposely run this down to its lowest level. I could probably drain it completely, but I don't want to do that. I took it down to its bottom level. The reason for that is I want to test if it will really charge at 2 amps, so we can use my USB watt meter for that. And the thing with batteries is that as they become more full, they start to charge slower. So let's say it starts charging at 2 amp. When it becomes half full, it might only charge at 1 amp, and then when it comes 3/4 full, it's going to charge even less. So to give this a fair chance, I've run this down, and same with this Samsung phone. I've run it down so the battery's dead, so we can measure if we can really get a high amp output from this. So let's bring the camera closer and try it out. So here's a close-up of the power bank. See, if you press this button, it shows you how much power is remaining. This is your output, where you'll connect your phone or tablet, and that's your input for charging this. At the bottom, you'll find the specs here. You can see that it says input 5 volts up to 2 amp, the cell rating, the output DC 5 volts up to 2.4 amps, and you can see the milliamp hour rating and all the different certifications and so on. So if you want to read that more, just pause the video and you'll be able to read that to your heart's content. So the first thing we're going to test is how much power this consumes while charging. It says it can charge it up to 2 amp, which is pretty fast. So I have my Anker 5-port charger here. This can output up to 2 amp or over 2 amp per port. We have my Power USB meter here, and then we have the official charge cable that came with it. So let's plug it in and see how much power it consumes. Let me zoom in on the display for you. So you can see right now it's around half a watt which is pretty low. And this is actually something I've noticed with this. For some reason, when charging with the official cable, it doesn't charge very fast. If I turn on this backlight, you'll be able to see more easily. 0.1 watts. I really don't understand it, but this official charge cable just doesn't seem to work very well. Watch, if I unplug this, let me zoom the camera back out. If I unplug the official Asus cable, and then I take my official Samsung charge cable, plug one end into the power bank, the other end into my porta-power, and then I'll zoom in. And there you go. You can see at the moment it's at, what's that, around 9 watts. So it's charging close to the 2 amp max input that it has. So I don't understand why when I use a Samsung cable, I can charge at a really fast rate. But when I use this official cable, it's really slow. Anyway, it's okay for me because I'm lucky enough to have the Samsung cable. But if you're using this one that's supplied, I don't know, you might not have so much luck. I might actually contact Asus about this and ask them to give their feedback on that. But yeah, technically it does seem capable of charging at the, up to 2 amp input. So that's pretty good. The next thing I want to do is actually try charge a cell phone from the power bank and see how much power we can get out of this, because it says it can output up to 2.4 amp. So we'll again use our power meter. So we'll plug the porta-power into here. And then we'll use our Samsung cable. And we'll try charge a Samsung Galaxy S4. So let's plug this in and let's see what rate we get. I'll zoom in on the porta-power again. So you can see right now it's consuming around 8.6 watts, so nearly at 2 amp. Now I wouldn't say you're ever really going to get the maximum 2 or 2.4 amp, because that's really, best case scenario. Best cables, short cables, the right phone that can agree with the power bank and so on and so on. As long as we get somewhere around 1.5, 1.8 amp, something like that, I think it's pretty good. And here we are getting a pretty good rate. So I'm happy with that output. And of course, in a normal world situation, you would just plug your phone straight into this without the power meter that I was using there, and then it will charge and you'll be happy because you can keep texting and playing Clash of Clans and whatever else. So let's just see. There you go. This battery in here is completely dead, so that's why it keeps turning on and off like that when I disconnect the charger. But yeah, it seems to operate just fine, so I am happy with that. As I mentioned earlier, it's not only Android phones, we can also do this with Apple phones. So here I have an iPhone 6. If I plug in this is an official original cable. Let's turn on the power bank. And there you go, it's charging at around 1 amp, so 5 watts. My battery is actually around 50%, so I wouldn't expect it to be too high, but I'm quite happy with that, 1 amp, around 5 watts. So yep, Apple, Android, doesn't matter, phone, tablets, and so on. Now, although we didn't get the exact high input and output of this as the specifications say, I think it still does quite well. And for 800 peso for a branded, and this really feels solid for a high quality USB power bank, I don't think you can really complain. And there's a lot of different variables with cables and devices and chargers and things like that. So I couldn't be 100% sure that this wouldn't work better for someone else or worse for someone else, but for me, this gets a big recommendation. So if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos like this, and follow me on Twitter @YTGadget. Thanks for watching.